Welcome back. Well, let me just come back to you now to continue from where we stopped.
I think the first thing we will need to do is define what we mean by independence. I think any dictionary will tell you that independence is freedom from outside control or support. That is how everyone understands independence. And you don't have to be a professor of English to understand that. It's very simple. Freedom from outside control or support. Now, if we apply that definition to Nigeria, I think you and I will have to agree that Nigeria is not independent. For one thing, Nigeria was created by outsiders. Um, just about every aspect of life in Nigeria today is dominated by outsiders in the sense that we import everything that is needed to sustain or maintain the nation, to maintain Nigeria. Um, the language we speak is imported. Our legal system is imported. Our political system is imported. Our economy and the main source of income in Nigeria, oil, is produced, marketed, and refined by outsiders. That same oil, that same resource, is priced in a foreign currency, dollars, over which we don't have any control whatsoever. The food we eat is imported. The clothes we wear are imported. The infrastructure, the roads, the hospitals, the stadiums, all these things are built by imported labor, by the labor of foreigners. Julius Berger is the main entity I'm thinking about here. So, under these circumstances, how can anyone intelligently claim that Nigeria is an independent nation unless we're deceiving ourselves?
The human capital development has really not been in place as to some people's selfishness in this country and how a lot of people feel that they can, you know, monopolize, some certain areas. And I strongly believe that when human capital development is really put in check and people are advised to really look deep with with look deep to what we can offer our own natural resources, which would now amount to us being the exporters and not much of the country that imports almost everything. I kind of agree with him based on the reality, but I'm also optimistic as to what will happen even from now on.
I disagree with Femi on so many grounds. I will say it again. We got our independence. Whatever we might have done with the way we live, we choose to carry out our independence, it's left with us. We gave, if we are giving, in quotes, foreigners the opportunity to come and take advantage of us on our own land, doesn't remove that fact that we are independent. I will cite an example. When the gay issue came up, Nigeria stood up as a country and said, no, we don't want it in our own country. Did it play out? Did it happen? No. So my own point is very simple. Whether we have challenges, fine, we have challenges. Everybody know that we are still crawling at 55, where things are still not working at 55, fine. But that doesn't remove the fact that we are, in quote, an independent country.
No, I think unknowingly, both Femi and Kolade are saying the same thing because what they are talking about is responsibility after they said independence. What they are both talking about is what have we done with the declaration. Now, these people have said you are a free people. And what I was saying earlier is have we ourselves defined ourselves as a people, not to talk about defining ourselves as a free people. And until we do that, we cannot boast of being independent.
I think we really need to make a distinction between political independence and economic independence. Political independence without the economic independence or the technological know-how to develop that economic independence is a nonsense, doesn't mean anything. And that's what the crafty colonialists did. They realized that Nigerians did not have the technological means or ability to sustain themselves. They did not have the technological ability to build cars, to produce aircrafts, or to build roads, or to produce drugs. So it was easy for them to say, hey, here you are, you're independent, but you don't have the resources to maintain that independence, to develop true independence. And that is the fallacy, that is the misconception that many of our people, including some of my brothers on this program, have. They don't understand that it's one thing to say that you are politically independent, but if you do not have the economic independence or the technological independence, your political independence means nothing. I will refer here now to my idol, someone I deeply, greatly admire, Fela Anikulapo Kuti. In one of his songs, Look and Laugh, this was recorded in 1983 or 1982, thereabouts. He sang, and you'll have to indulge me here. Nigeria still there where he dey, poor man still there plenty more. Luku, 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 lafu, lafu, lafu. Let me repeat that. Nigeria still there where he dey, poor man still there plenty more. Since 1982, when that song was recorded, what has been the change till today, in 2015? Are there not more Nigerians who are poor, unemployed? If we were truly independent, wouldn't there have been some improvement in the condition of the common man in Nigeria? But no, we're still wallowing in poverty and destitution, and yet we claim to be independent.
Well, I kind of agree with him, but the extent of difference is what we are talking about here. Has it really gone terribly bad? How bad has it gone? So, but what I make of it is, so far it's not been good for us as a country and as a people. And I'm one of those optimistic Nigerians that believe that this country will still get better. I would still say Nigeria is still the giant of Africa. As against what the last caller, said. We know we have leadership problems in this country, which has amounted to a bad system which doesn't really work. As a matter of fact, our system doesn't work. It might be there, but it's not functioning as it ought to. So I think we're in a new dispensation, and that's the part that I'm really much concerned about. President Buhari, at a time when he was the head of state, and now that he is a civilian president, I see that as the old time, and I see this as a new time, because people that were really in Nigeria those days knew that things were different, and that was also after independence. Now, he is here now, and I believe strongly that it's going to get better.
Nigeria has never been independent since it was created in 1901 by the British. The closest we have come to independence, in my opinion, is the 6 months during which Murtala Muhammad was in power. And we know what happened to him, how the imperialists got rid of him. I think this question of independence is something that we need to think about very carefully. Nigerians like to talk a lot. We like to bolster our egos and call ourselves the giant of Africa and all these grandiose names, when the reality is different. Nigeria is a slave plantation. Nigeria today is no different from Nigeria in 1960. In fact, in my view, we're in a worse condition today in 2015 than we were in 1960. Why do I say that? Because in 1960, at least we had the illusion that there was hope, that we could change the country, that we could develop. Today, there is no such hope. And the reason there's no such hope is because we have been deluded into this mistaken belief that we're an independent nation when we aren't.
The point Femi raised as regards the political and economic independence is, to me, a very crucial point, and which actually, answers, attends to what J.R. Sivan also said about drawing the line between, independence and interdependence. That was where I now wrote internal dependence. Basically, the political structure in this country has really eaten deep into our internal dependence. I so much believe that Nigeria as a country is independent, but we have a problem with independence as to internally, as a people. So that that's why I actually said that. So for me, if our political structure is really checked, because that is, as far as democracy is concerned, that is what determines our leadership. Until that is put in check, and we have people that are quality leaders, then are we able to get our internal independence right. If things are not working internally, we need to ask ourselves internally. And the question goes first to leadership.
All right, guys, thank you all for coming on the program this afternoon and sharing your thoughts. But that's how we have to hold it on this part of the program. We're going to take a quick break. And when we return, we'll be joined by Edward Israel Aide to get more analysis on this topic. Please